Hello, Misha in Alabama. You're wondering about that little cub with the sort of gammy hip or gammy leg and whether it's recovered or not. It seems to me, if I'm not mistaken, all the cubs were present yesterday, and I'm going to have to ask for confirmation from VM. VM, is that true?
Yes.
All 8 yesterday, and all fine. Was the limp still there?
No, it doesn't.
VM said at least VM says he doesn't notice any limp at all, but they weren't very active. So the fact that it's now, what are we saying, 2 and a bit weeks after that injury took place, the cub is still alive, indicates to me that perhaps things are going to be all right. Listen. And she's chewing something called a baboon's tail. She, I say. We know that there's at least one male here and one female. And I'm not sure what the others are at this stage. Thank you. A lovely question from someone called Recalcitrant Old Bag in California. Recalcitrant Old Bag, you want to know if the lions leave a babysitter when they go when they go hunting. I can't refer to you as Recalcitrant Old Bag. I mean, that would just be rude. Recalcitrant Old Bag, they don't, no. Sometimes they do. Well, in fact, normally they don't. Like she will stash them in a thick bush, go off hunting, and then come back and feed them with milk. But they're completely unlike, say, wild dogs, which always leave a babysitter. Or, well, if the pack's big enough, they'll leave a babysitter. In the case of that little pack of 3 that we've been seeing, for example, it's unlikely that they would leave a babysitter because they need all hands on deck, as it were. But lions don't do that. Leopards obviously don't because they're solitary, and hyenas don't either. Sometimes hyenas will leave a nursemaid at the den site, but very often the cubs just stay there on their own. Very sweet. VM, it's not really bright enough for a man of my photography skills today.
It'd be easy.
And in the background, a lot more bird song today for some reason. The orange-breasted bushrike, robins, doves, hornbills, francolins, and in front of us, little lions playing with baboon's tail. Ah, yes. I think if there was ever a debate about the leopard versus lion cubs, well, look at these things. You know, James Richard, I think you're probably absolutely correct when you suggest that a lioness would be reticent about introducing her cubs to the pride if they were on a kill. Yeah, and I think the reason for that, as I'm sure that you've guessed correctly, is that their blood is up. They are ready to fight. They fight each other tremendously over food. They don't share food with each other. And so, yeah, I would say absolutely a lioness would be very reticent to introduce her cubs to a pride during the feeding time. They are too sweet, these things. Isn't that sweet? Listen to the robin in the background. Oh, look. Managed to miss that one, Ben. Let's look at the lions. No, you can't see my photographs. They're too ugly. This is fantastic. I don't wish to go anywhere. Ali, you say... well, I'm going to ask Louise to read that again. Your comment about the cubs and what they're saying to each other. Ah. Grrr, I'm going to get you, tree. I'm a rough and tumble little lion cubby. Well, you are indeed. I'm just going to quickly get on the radio. Andrew, about a 1 out of 5 visual for 2 vehicles, but you can try and make your way in here. We're on Glory Pan Road. This is very, very special. And interesting, yesterday that story of them being perhaps introduced for the first time to the Pride. I think that's a good interpretation from Brent yesterday. But it's interesting. I wonder if it's a quick thing that happens, or if it happens over a period. So perhaps it wasn't the very first time they'd seen them, and perhaps it takes a bit of time for those lionesses to get used to the cubs, and for the rest of the Pride to start to tolerate them. So, I mean, you read that at 6 weeks they get introduced to the Pride. It's obviously a process that takes place, as they're not staying with the other cubs at the moment. Sarah, you're wondering what that plant is that they're eating. It is something called baboon's tail, or Xerophyta retinervis. Now, yes, very nice.